Now, what we were talking about earlier when it comes to the stomach upset, and I think that this is one of the biggest questions, or also two things that I like to teach the consumers who are calling in or trying to contact us, is that, like, why is it that our iron's going to be different for that? And that's because of the form of iron that we're actually using.
Yeah, not all forms are created equal. There's a lot of different forms you can get out there, and there's a lot of different terminology that can be applied to them that can be a little bit confusing. And there's two terms we use here at MegaFood to describe the iron that we deliver. One is going to be that it's elemental. That sounds like a big scary word. People are used to things hearing like, ferrous sulfate is a very common form of iron that doctors are prescribing. And in ferrous sulfate, only a portion of it is elemental. I want you to think of the elemental amount of iron or of any mineral as what's available to you. It's what the body has access to and can absorb. The great thing about Blood Builder, it's entirely elemental. All 26 milligrams of that product are going to be available for the body to utilize.
Yes, people ask this question too. It's like, well, I need to know this ferrous sulfate. If I was to take your Blood Builder, how many would equal that? And that's what I try to tell people and explain, is that what you're dealing with at that point is more of a compound. You need to take it a step back. You need to think this is just the elemental form. So with that 325 milligrams of ferrous sulfate, we're looking at 65 milligrams of elemental iron. That really helps people understand what I'm telling. We're delivering 26 milligrams of elemental iron in our Blood Builder, but also too what the better value is, because we are then also too binding this with the nutritional yeast, making it then mineral bound, so that way you do not get that stomach upset.
That's exactly why we don't get stomach upset. In the unique food state nutrient process that we have here at MegaFood, we're actually able, in the case of our minerals, to bind that nutrient to nutritional yeast, to your point. And it makes it really easy for the body to break it down. And I love to use this analogy, I call it the garden analogy, to help consumers understand our minerals a little bit better. Say you've got a lush garden in your backyard, you've been tending to the soil, you've added fertilizer, so much nutrients in that soil, and you know it. But you're not gonna go grab a handful of that every morning to get your minerals. Instead, what are you going to do? You're going to plant spinach and carrots and broccoli, and they're going to take it up through their root system, and they're going to integrate it into their cells. And then come, August, harvest time, we're going to collect that broccoli and kale, and then we're going to eat it, and that's how we get our minerals. That's what we're doing here at MegaFood. We are taking a mineral form that is really hard, that elemental form, really hard for our body to break down. It's difficult to do. We're going to bind it to that food that our body says, I know what this is. There's some B vitamins in here. There's some other minerals. I can break this down. And that's how we're going to deliver that iron, that calcium, whatever mineral it is that we're offering.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought up the B vitamins. So not only do we have the iron in here, but we're also going to be adding those B vitamins, which is going to help with the healthy red blood cell production.
In the case of Blood Builder, yes, absolutely. Iron isn't the only thing important for blood health. It's the important nutrient that we're looking at, for the transfer of oxygen, but it's not the only player there. So we're including B12 and folate as well for all over healthy red blood cell production.
And then another addition people ask me too, when I take the supplement, do I need to drink orange juice? Because when it comes to vitamin C, that's very important when it comes to assimilation or absorption for the iron. It can't be done without. So
yes, I mentioned earlier on that there's two terms we use to define our iron, and the other that I haven't mentioned yet is non-heme, which is a fancy way to say it's plant-based, which is great for us that are on a plant-based diet, vegan over here, but it's not also the ideal way for the body to absorb nutrition. So that's why when we find it in nature, iron in things like kale, there's also a hefty amount of vitamin C in there, because vitamin C helps us better absorb and utilize that iron. So in Blood Builder, you don't need to take it with your orange juice. We've got the vitamin C in there that's already being delivered with oranges, and you're going to get that benefit in there as well.